Bit of a road trip. We got 6 bales of straw for the gardens. It's that time of year. It's getting to be that season, and I'm gonna haul these out. Melanie helped me load them, and I'm gonna haul these over to my herb beds and protect them from the elements for this coming winter cold. Just walking on the way out there, look at this. This is some Chinese cabbage type thing. There's weeds mixed in there though. But they're growing. This is almost October. And those grew from seeds from plants that we had. And there's some seeds I gotta harvest yet and keep. And then, boy, those weeds took over thickly. We have just harvested some spinach leaves, and the cabbage heads are still trying to grow again. I don't think they have a chance now. And kale is ready to harvest. So we're still getting greens. In there is some more kale. I wheeled this over and cut the strings. I can work with my left side very slowly and closely with my right, so carefully with the right. So what I want to do is put this around my plants and protect them from the coming cold. I don't know. Oh, I like that smell. I might harvest some of these. I'm probably going to be harvesting a mess of these. Anything that's still usable. Because we're going to get down in low temperatures here very soon. And so I'm going to selectively put straw around my herbs that I want to keep. Oh. And as it decomposes through the winter, it's going to provide fertilizer, nutrients, but also warmth. So I gotta get down on my knees for this, I think. This hurts. I'm also putting some around my little apple tree just to break down and provide nutrients. Ow. Yeah, I gotta slow down a little. That'll help in the winter months. This year I have a wide variety of mint plants that I brought in that I'm insulating to protect the roots. Apple tree that I've had for 2 years from a shoot that came up under another apple tree. And oregano and some mint that's actually still growing. We had some freezing nights, 4 in a row, and that one's still growing. We're going to have in the teens and 20s coming up. And that one's still doing well. I've insulated loosely but sort of thick so that they're cushioned. They're still growing, nearly October, and there's new growth coming on. It's amazing. Incredible. I'm probably going to harvest a lot of that either today or tomorrow. Even the catnip, I've covered it, but in the center was starting to grow new growth. So I definitely am protecting those roots. The upper branches are still somewhat alive, but obviously they'll die off and regrow from the ground next year. But I definitely want to protect them. My roses, I've densely packed them in. They have struggled. This is the best year they've ever done. And they still haven't flowered or bushed out yet. So this year I'm packing them with straw as well. Now my thyme and the thyme is just great. It doesn't need help. So I know that they're good outside. And if I cover them in straw, it just makes a mess of them next year. I did insulate my tarragon. There's 2 tarragon plants and another mint variety. I don't know what their zones are, so I heavily insulated the mint plants. But there's one herb bed for the winter. protected what I wanted to. I'm going to harvest here before I insulate. Look, there's new growth, brand new fresh growth. Look at that. Everything is confused this year, and everything is regrowing in end of October. This is bushed out beautiful this year. Just cascading flow of time. So beautiful. And let me come around the other side. My variegated mint and peppermint have done very well this year. They did better than I ever thought they would on year 2. So I'm going to harvest some of them for winter use. Mint tea is so nice. And because they're just going to die off anyway. And then I'll heavily mulch as well to protect them for next year. The one, I forgot what it was, it never did grow back. It died because we froze. It started growing and then it froze again. It started growing and it froze again. I lost it entirely. I don't remember if that was bee balm or what that one was. It died. And the cat mint is really bushy. So I'll have some mint for winter. And we'll do that later on video. And the tarragon has amazing health benefits. And that'll be on my tactical channel later on. So watch for that. This is the, I forgot what it was, lemon mint. Bushed out beautiful. It's dying though. And I didn't catch it in time to harvest it. But I'm going to see if I can get some seeds out of that. And this was a tiny, tiny little sprig of mint that I stuck in the ground. It's beautiful. There's some babies in here. And they're spreading out all over in here. They're up in here. Just incredible from one tiny, tiny little piece that I put in. So I'll probably harvest a lot of that. Here it's spreading up in here. Wow, from one piece. This is what rabbit manure did to my herb beds this year. The yarrow is quite pretty this late in the year still. Here in my window, I'm making a little bit of a herbal kitchen. I've got some peppermint, some oregano, some thyme. Some of you may remember when I potted these a while back and kept them in the greenhouse. I just cut a little bit of plywood and put it on top of my shelves. Got the solar panels in the window there. And I might add another herb. This is probably our last day before the cold of winter sets in. So I'm going to go and do a little run around the property and see what I might want to save for winter months. I like to just take a leaf off now and then and just enjoy the flavor of an herb. I love these 3 types especially. I love their flavors. Just for a little happy mouth freshener now and then. Well, right now I'm going to harvest my herbs from my raised bed. Some of my herbs. I've got tarragon here, which I'm talking about on my tactical channel. I've got beautiful mint. I'm going to harvest some mess of that and hang it up. It's not optimal to do it during rain, but it is what I got. And I do have some oregano I'm going to try to harvest. We'll see what I can get out of it. We have some repair work to do. Chickens got in the compost bins and emptied them out. Oh boy, to the ground almost. That's a lot of work. That's the problem with chickens. They'll get into anything they can. We'll have to rake that all up and put it all back in and then put boards across the front. But the good news is it shows me there's some serious rot in our framing. So, it was, what, 4 years? But definitely not forever. We cut down everything here. We mowed it all down with hand scissors and put it all in boxes to keep it. And then we have thickly mulched with straw, especially my tarragon. We heaped it up. Now that's a woody stem plant and it'll grow back from the stems, so I covered that. I wanted that covered very well. And we got all the mint plants. There's cat mint, variegated mint, and peppermint was in here. And we mowed them down to the ground. And then 2 types of oregano and some thyme was over here, a nice heap. And we got all that saved. Problem we have now is the chickens. They see this and they want to dig in it. I just over here had to repair the soil. The chickens got in and started ripping and digging. This was a hole here, and it's so annoying because we're about to cover this with mulch or with straw. Here they dug. Oh, it's so frustrating. Minutes. We just walked away to go grab the straw. In mere minutes they can annihilate a garden. So I'm standing guard while she brings the straw. We're going to cover this. We harvested the yarrow flowers and took them inside and kept the seeds. And I cut off the lemon balm or bee balm that survived. I cut it down. We're going to mulch that heavy. I harvested the skullcap not for its leaves but for the seeds. And the lemon mint not for the leaves but for the seeds because it was pretty well shot from the cold weather. Next year I can harvest that. But we want to be able to put the straw down and protect the roots because that's a zone 5 plant. I'm not sure about skullcap, but I don't want to have to start from seeds again next year if I don't have to. There's some annuals here that actually lived and spread, so we covered all this. The catmint we did not harvest in this bed. We may or may not do that later, but this is still warmer here under the house front and or under the tree by the house. We still have flowers wanting to come out. I don't know what's going to happen because that one right there is wilting. And I have harvested all the seed heads from that stalk. But we're going to have some deep cold nights coming up. It'll be interesting to see if that continues to flower. It's just nice to have some pretty colors in this late in the season. And then here we actually have flowers growing. They're my favorites because they were cascading down over the rocks. They were so pretty. And they're still growing. Again, not that we're trying to save them for this year, but for next. And look, fresh growth. It's been a confusing year for the plants because we had cold and then we had warm. And now we have cold again. And we have flowers still trying to come through. They're quite confused. Then fresh growth up in there because of the warm spell we had after the freezing we had. But it's time to bed them down for the winter. Look how pretty. I don't think the colors show as well as they should. This is November. It's so pretty. This is November. This is unheard of this time of year. I'm so happy. It's definitely been an odd year for us. But we'll get to these later on. We are doubling up the chicken wire. Actually, that can go higher right here. We can lace it at the bottoms and make it higher and keep the chickens out of our beds because with the straw, they absolutely want to get in there. They've been driving us insane. So we got all but one. We got to do this one here, the middle one, higher because they'll be in there when they find out they can. They'll be in there. They were tearing this up too. This is my raspberry patch. That was just a few berry bushes when we got here, and now it's all raspberries in there. And then some herbs up front here, and Melanie's flowers, and my Saskatoon berry bush. So we doubled that up, using every resource we had. Now that's double height. Definitely I can raise that higher. I don't think we need to, but there's about 6-inch overlap because the birds were tearing it up in here. Melanie has mulched this recently to keep the grass down on the edge of the plants. And boy, the chickens were in there. And my herb beds, it's just me. We doubled these up. We scraped together every piece of wire we could find and doubled it all up. The going is slow for me because my ribs, so really slow. I am not hauling a camera around, so sorry no action footage right now. But we got this one, and that'll stop them getting in there. And in this one, my beloved herb bed. This is my favorite in the whole property here. That one's good. And this one. We're getting into this one already. So it's safe. There's my soldiers. There are soldiers. They actually have pathways worn through the ground. They have their routes they patrol. So I'm done for the day. It was a good full day of work today. Fighting the chickens on the homestead. The chalet, I have boxes upon boxes upon boxes of herbs that we mowed down from those, just from my one hill. That, all of these, what a beautiful harvest. What a beautiful harvest. That's a lot. Oh, thyme. That's thyme. That's a big box full of oregano. There's my hand. And it's tall. It's all oregano. And then here's the leftover of what I was processing from yesterday. Mint. And then from the little hill, I got my I got some yarrow for the seeds. I got my skullcap, hopefully for seeds. I might get some leaves out of that. That makes an awesome relaxation and calming tea. And then the lemon mint flower heads. I'm going to try to extract all those seeds. And now I've got some work. I have to hurry up before they mold. I've got a lot of work to do processing all these. On the oregano, I may just strip the leaves onto pans and put them in the ovens because it's not as many leaves. On the mint, I'm going to tie them in bunches like these. I'm tying them in bunches and hanging them up. And we brought in some of our plants. That's lemon verbena. I'm going to do a video on that later. And we have a mess of things in here, and there's still more to come. There's taro leaf. Hopefully it'll grow. Good morning, everybody. We had a good hard freeze last night. That is thick. Quarter to a half-inch thick ice. It was cold. There is a happy homestead site. It's natural. That's the way it should be. Running around free and happy. Over here I have a battery charging station going on. I am still working on batteries to set up both a off-grid homestead power wall and e-bike battery packs. This is an ongoing process that will be going for a while. We had more snow in the night. I wish I had got out earlier when the sun was shining, but I was busy with something. This was so pretty and the sky was blue, but it's starting to drop. It's warming up again, just above freezing. That was so pretty earlier when with a blue sky behind it. Gaylord got 2.5 inches and Mansalona got 5 inches of snow. In the UP, they say they got 7 inches. So all around us got a lot of snow, but we don't usually get it. That's Melanie's tracks with the dog this morning. By the way, she's calming down a lot. And really, really turning out to be a really, really good dog. I'm so happy. But, wait, let me take you up here. Isn't that pretty? The snow is in the fence. It's so neat. Up here is all white. Silence, pure silence out here. Look at the leaves still on the tree, and it's November. It's been a confusing year. Very, very strange year. More snow coming. Somebody flipped a switch up there and turned winter on.